1990, Broncos were in town. John Elway and company are backed up near the end zone, and the crowd was so loud, he turned to the ref to get him to quiet the crowd down. Arrowhead's rep as Noise Kings continued on. 2014, in comes Tom Brady and the Patriots. Watch him. The noise in Arrowhead and its fans hit 142.2 decibels, which got them into the Guinness Book of World Records.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Air Coryell and your pilot Dan Fouts, welcome to San Diego.
When the Chargers opened to play in 1960, it was in LA at the Coliseum. But their stay there and in the city only lasted 1 year before they jumped on the freeway and headed south to the equally sunny skies of San Diego, first playing their home games at Balboa Stadium. Balboa is one of the few early football stadiums that wasn't built with baseball in mind, even though baseball was played there. But as was the case with every stadium in those years, it was too small. So no shock, the city built a new facility, San Diego Stadium.
For a record number, 300,000 Charger fans. Right home San Diego Stadium was where the action was.
San Diego Stadium eventually went by Jack Murphy Stadium, shortened to the Murph. Then it was Qualcomm, or the Q, and now it's San Diego Community Credit Union Stadium. In 1978, they installed a brand new scoreboard, the first full-colored outdoor scoreboard ever built. The Chargers' San Diego home is the only stadium to ever host both the World Series and the Super Bowl in the same year, that took place in 1998. The Chargers' stay in San Diego came to an end in 2016, ownership making the decision to move back to LA, their temporary home, the StubHub Center.
It's the Chargers' first home game of 2017 and their first regular season home game in LA since 1960.
Man, even though they weren't going to play there long, seeing a game at the StubHub Center, now known as Dignity Health Sports Park, was like going back in time. It was built for soccer, so it only holds 27,000 fans, meaning no matter where you're sitting, you have a great view of the field. But it was never supposed to last. The Chargers, like the Rams, just waiting for SoFi to be completed.
The Chargers about to make their debut at their new home. This place is awesome.
It's unbelievable. You called it Disneyland. We got here, and I know you're out here getting a lot of rides in this one.
That's it.
Staying in California, but again rewinding to 1960, we're talking Raiders, and we are back at Kezar Stadium. Oakland played the first 4 games of its existence at Kezar in the AFL's inaugural season, but they didn't finish the season there. Instead, moving over to Candlestick Park for the last 4 games of the year, and staying there through 1961. Plans to build the Oakland Coliseum were underway, but it wouldn't be ready until 1966, and the Raiders were an Oakland team, not a San Francisco team. So the temporary stadium was built back in Oakland. Starting in 1962, they played at Frank Ewell Field.
Frank Ewell Field was named after an undertaker in Oakland. And I'd add to everything else that was going on at that time in the American Football League, because everybody was trying to bury them, and no question about it. They just kept coming back to life.
But after 6 seasons in existence, the Raiders were finally ready to move to a permanent home. The Oakland Coliseum was ready to go.
1966, a remarkable year for the Oakland Raiders. The year the Raiders moved into their magnificent new home, the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum.
The Coliseum's field is 21 feet below sea level. Raiders played there from 1966 to 1981, though there was that one game they had to use Berkeley's Memorial Stadium in 1973. Scheduling conflict with the A's forced the move, so fans at the College Stadium got to see the Raiders beat the Dolphins 12-7, which snapped Miami's 18-game winning streak at the time. But you know the story. Al Davis packed up his team and headed south for Los Angeles, trading one Coliseum for another in 1982. Davis, though, would eventually tire of the conditions at LA's Coliseum, no different than he did with Oakland's. That's why it shocked so many people when he went back north in 1995, going right back to the stadium Jets played at the Polo Grounds until 1964. They hold the distinction as being the last team to ever play at the stadium. Their game against the Bills on December 14th, 1963, the stadium's final curtain call. The Jets' next stop, Shea Stadium. The Titans ready for a new change of scenery and a new name.
The largest opening day crowd in AFL history, 53,000 strong as well. Shea Stadium, New York City. Shea Stadium stands. The New York World's Fair has been visited by 51 million people. So much traffic, people, lanes, and cars on the Great Central Park.
Shea Stadium is the main reason the team changed its name to the Jets. It's located in the middle of New York's two biggest airports. The team, though, got tired of taking a backseat to the Mets' schedule, so they took off to the Meadowlands.
Bill Kenny drops straight back to the base. Ball is not going. Ball for the end zone. Touchdown, New York Jets.
Their official residency at Giants Stadium began in 1984, though they first played there as the home team in some games starting in 1977. The Jets played 2 games a year at the Meadowlands as sort of renters before finally moving in permanently. It was at Giants Stadium that fireman Ed found his persona.
Mr. Larkin gives the Jet fans fired up.
The Jets' most famous fans started showing up to games there in 1986. Because the stadium has 2 teams playing at it, it ended up surpassing Wrigley Field in 2003 as the stadium to host the most NFL games ever. In 2010, though, the Giants and Jets both moved across the parking lot into MetLife Stadium, originally called New Meadowlands Stadium.
And you're going to feel it and hear it and see it all in high definition as the Jets and the Ravens in the New Meadowlands Stadium.
Aside from the different colors present when the Jets are the host team, there's also those jets, or sometimes helicopters, which do flyovers before each game. And there's also their chant, which we've all heard before, but just for good measure, let's hear it again for these Jets. To New England now, the Patriots went where the Boston Patriots Titans. The Oilers' first stadium, University of Houston's Jefferson Stadium. Jefferson Stadium, or Robertson Stadium, was another multi-purpose stadium originally built in 1904. It was the site of the very first AFL championship game won by the Oilers. Their stay there was brief, though, hopping from one college campus to another after 5 seasons. Next up was the much bigger Rice Stadium. The Oilers' stay at Rice was even shorter than their stay at Jefferson, though. They only played at Rice for 3 seasons. The team's owner, Bud Adams, struck a deal that would put his young team in the record books. The Oilers, the first professional football team to have a home with a roof.
The Oilers moved to Houston's famous Astrodome. The fans showed instant approval by tripling season ticket sales from 10,000 to 30,000 in a startling 2-month period.
Oilers Chiefs, September of 1968, the Astrodome. First time an AFL or NFL team hosted a game inside at a stadium that was their permanent home. The Oilers were also the first professional football team to play on AstroTurf. Footnote: the stadium was originally flush with real grass.
The grass grew pretty well for a little while, but the Houston Astros, the outfielders, were having a difficult time reading the ball because of the light coming in from the roof. So they got up there and started painting some of those panels, and what happened is the grass died because it wasn't getting the sunlight.
They played at the Astrodome until 1996, Adams taking his club to Tennessee the next year, playing their inaugural season at the Liberty Bowl.
Good afternoon and welcome as opening day comes to Memphis, Tennessee today. The Oakland Raiders go against the now Tennessee Oilers on a hot, sultry day in the Mid-South.
Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium, home of the Memphis Tigers. The Oilers had a new stadium in the works in Nashville, but it wasn't going to be ready until 1999. The plan was to play at the Liberty Bowl until then, but Memphis fans didn't really care much about a team that wasn't going to stick around. The season was a disaster. The stands were half full at best for most of their games. So after their final game of 1997, they moved over to Vanderbilt Stadium in Nashville, where they would play the 1998 season.
They've had 3 homes in 3 years, but the Oilers are finally in Nashville with their new stadium ready for next season.
They only needed the facility for 1 year. What fans probably remember about their 1-year run there, you couldn't buy beer. That's right, an NFL game with no beer. In 1999, the Oilers were no more. They had made the switch to the title, and they were finally ready to move into their permanent Tennessee home, Adelphia Coliseum.
And welcome everyone to Adelphia Coliseum here in Nashville, Tennessee for the first ever game of the Tennessee Titans.
The Titans won their first 13 games at Adelphia and ended up with a record for consecutive wins in a new stadium since the merger in 1970. Now the stadium has changed to the Coliseum and LP Field before of its most recent moniker, Nissan Stadium. You'll hear plenty of Tighten Up from fans there. There's also the 12 Titan tradition. A former player or celebrity comes out and plants a large sword at the 50-yard line before kickoff of each game. The NFL had wanted a team back in Minnesota for years and finally got their wish when the Vikings began play in Metropolitan Stadium.
Now, thanks to the folks who make Greenbelt beer, you're going to see some highlights from the Vikings' first year in the National Football League.
The Vikings and MLB's Twins both began playing at the old mat there back in 1961. The Vikings stayed there for 20 seasons. After that, they moved into another mat, but this one had a roof. The Minnesota Vikings were moving indoors to the Metrodome.
Live from the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome in Minneapolis, the Minnesota Vikings and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The 1982 NFL season, the 63rd in the National Football League, is underway.
The Dome, or the Thunderdome as it was commonly called, was another dome stadium to use one of those fiberglass air pressure roofs, which would end up being part of its undoing. But before we get to that, check this out. Remember Tony Dorsett's Monday Night Football 99-yard run? How about Antonio Cromartie taking a missed field goal back 109 yards? Then there was this Bernard Variant 99-yard TD reception. Oh, let's not forget Cordero Patterson's 109-yard kickoff return. collapsing. The Vikings had 2 home games left. The first was moved to Detroit. The Vikings were the home team while playing the Giants at Lions Ford Field. For their last home game, they were back in state, playing the Bears at TCF Bank Stadium, where the Minnesota Gophers play. By the time they left the Dome, they dealt with 5 roof collapses. The Vikings would play their final game there in 2013. They had a new place in the works, but it wasn't going to be ready until 2014, or 15 for that matter. So the Vikings continued borrowing TCF. But by 2016, US Bank Stadium was ready to open its doors, and these were some special doors they were opening.
What a buzz in downtown Minneapolis, Minnesota tonight as US Bank Stadium opens its doors to its first regular season game.
At 40,000 tons, 55 feet wide, and 95 feet high, US Bank's massive glass pivoting doors are the largest of its kind in the world. It was the first NFL stadium to feature a translucent roof. Outside the stadium, there's a giant Viking ship to make sure you know whose house you're visiting. Inside the stadium, each game is kicked off with someone blowing their famous gala horn. You'll hear the horn throughout the game, along with plenty of Skol chants, fans yelling it as they clap their hands over their heads, a nice loud drum keeping the beat. And feel free to dress up like a Viking. Game day garb is strongly encouraged of the new star of the North. What a very Games of Thrones nickname, right? But appropriate for a stadium full of fans wearing Helga hats and carrying big swords. Both the Vikings' previous permanent homes are gone, by the way. The old Metropolitan Stadium was demolished in 1985, and the Metrodome met its demise in 2014. 42 explosive charges were set off at once to begin the deconstruction process. It took 4,910 truckloads to clear it all out when it was all said and done. Georgia, another state the NFL had been eyeballing for some time, the Falcons, the franchise to make its nest in the South, starting off at Atlanta Stadium.
Most everybody knows Atlanta is a growing city. We have a new stadium. The stadiums are completely full at every game. They bring people in from all out over the southeast.
I've been to one Atlanta Falcons football game, and I would have loved to go to the other ones, but I couldn't get a ticket.
It was known early on as the Miracle on Capitol Avenue because of the role it played in landing both the Falcons and the Braves. The Falcons flew the coop after the 1991 season, heading over to the Georgia Dome.
The skyline of Atlanta got a new addition in 1992. And to inaugurate the Georgia Dome, the Atlanta Falcons had a full house.
Light this place up. First play, baby.
Chris Miller will throw on first down. Deep down the near sideline. Michael Hayes is there. He's got it. At the 30, at the 20. He could go. Touchdown. Falcons.
The Falcons' new home, complete with a roof, a Teflon-coated fiberglass roof. Though other than a minor issue from a rainstorm, it didn't cause too many problems. The Georgia Dome was the place to host big events for a while. No other stadium has ever hosted the Olympics, the Final Four, and the Super Bowl, which it did twice. The Falcons themselves set the dome out in style, too. The 2016 NFC Championship game, the final game ever played at the Georgia Dome.
Fans into it here in Atlanta. Final game of the Georgia Dome.
When the NFL calendar flipped to 2017, Atlanta was ready to start enjoying the comforts of their newly built Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
It's opening night at the NFL's newest facility, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, as the Green Bay Packers take the field, all set to face the Falcons on Sunday Night Football.
Mercedes-Benz went up 83 feet away from the old dome. It was built with a retractable roof. It takes about 8 minutes to open or shut it. They also built a massive 73,000-pound Falcon out front that at over 4 stories tall makes it the biggest bird in the world. Inside, you'll find another biggest in the world when you look up at their 360-degree Halo HD video display, the first of its kind. Be ready to have fans yell, "Rise up" at you, or "In Brotherhood," both well-known Atlanta mottos that echo throughout the building on game days. And of course, you might have heard about their cheap eats. Owner Arthur Blank wanting the price of his concession stands to be the cheapest of any major sports venue. If you go looking for Atlanta's old residences, you won't find either. Demolition of Fulton County Stadium started 5 years after it was vacated. The implosion charges they sent didn't fire correctly. So a month after the first try, they finished the job and the dome was no more. The Miami Dolphins joined the AFL in 1966, playing their home games at the Orange Bowl, and they couldn't have gotten off to a better start.
The Dolphins debut must go down in football history as the most thrilling first play ever made by any new team anywhere.
First game in Dolphins franchise history, first home game, first play, a 95-yard kickoff return by Joe Auer. Only two franchises in pro football history have pulled that off, and to the other one shortly. For 3 seasons, the team brought in an actual dolphin, Flipper, who would swim around a water tank and do tricks after the team scored.
Whenever the Dolphins scored, Flipper would go up and jump through the hoop. They decided they didn't score enough, so he would jump up on first downs.
The Dolphins themselves were dominant at the Orange Bowl. They once strung together a 31-game winning streak there from 1971 to 1975, which included the perfect season of 1972.
Given up the least points in the NFL, they've scored the most.
Miami played at the Bowl from 1966 to 1986. Then it was off to their new pad, known at the time as Joe Robbie Stadium.
They came dressed for the beach, as well as the pool, to usher in a new era in Dolphin history. The long-awaited opening of Joe Robbie Stadium.
Holy naming rights, Batman. From Joe Robbie to Pro Player Park to Pro Player Stadium to Dolphin Stadium. Seriously, we just got rid of the S. To Land Shark Stadium, my personal favorite. Back to Dolphin Stadium. By Sun Life Stadium. Seahawks jumping on board in 1976 and breaking onto the scene in one of the loudest stadiums the game has ever seen.
Number 81, John McMakin.
The King County Multi-Purpose Dome and Stadium, a.k.a. the Kingdom. It didn't just house the Hawks and Mariners. The NBA's Supersonics also called it home, making it the only stadium to permanently house an NFL, MLB, and NBA team. It was considered one of the OG loud stadiums, if you will.
Team is taking over the Kingdom again here in Seattle, University of Washington, and they do it, I guess, basically to perfection. They're quite proud of it.
In fact, this is where the 12s were born. The 12s are what Seahawks fans call themselves, the number 12 actually being retired by the team in 1984. Part of the reason the 12s sounded so loud was they had a roof to work with, but as we've seen, roofs can cause issues. In 1994, during baseball season, some ceiling tiles had become waterlogged from too much pressure washing, and they collapsed. It forced the Seahawks to play their first 3 games of the season at Husky Stadium, which they would again use later. But their residency at the Kingdom overall lasted over 20 seasons. The Seahawks got a new stadium approved as the year 2000 approached, but it wasn't going to be ready until 2002, and it was going to be built right where the Kingdom was located. So they went back to crashing on the couch of the Huskies for 2 seasons. But in 2002, Seahawks Stadium was ready. So were its fans, who were as loud as ever. Seahawks Stadium has gone through a couple name changes, Quest Field and now CenturyLink Field. But what it's truly known for is its volume knob.
Seattle has had a tough time hearing because of the noise from the 12 man.
It's called the 12 people, whatever it's called, quiet man. They're on fire.
It has been in the Guinness Book of World Records twice for being the loudest stadium, though Arrowhead has since reclaimed that title. CenturyLink Field was built to be loud. The unique truss design helps trap all the noise made by the fans. The 12s once helped cause 11 false starts in a single game back in 2005.
Number 66. That's 9 false starts.
The 12 flag also has become a CenturyLink Field tradition, the flag being raised before each game by a celebrity or former player. Fans there also complained they were so loud, they literally shook the stadium. Marshawn Lynch's famous run against the Saints in 2011 was dubbed Beastquake because the shaking of the stadium ended up registering with the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network. And so did the Kingdom when it was imploded in 2000. And what an implosion it was. 16.8 seconds, and it did trigger an actual earthquake too, registering 2.3 on the Richter scale.
It's Buccaneer football.
Let's travel all the way across the country now. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers joining the NFL the same year Seattle did. The Bucs kicking things off at Tampa Stadium in 1976. Tampa Stadium may be the most unlucky start to a homestand you'll ever hear about in all of sports. No wins for almost 2 full seasons. 26-game losing streak to start out as a franchise and NFL record.
Goodbye.
That streak in week 13 of 1977.
Goodbye. 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 Nevada. Hello? When I call you, that means come here. When you, after you're done eating those cookies, you make sure you brush your teeth. Did you brush your teeth this morning? Alright, yeah, you need to make sure you brush your teeth.
But on the road, and then finally, last day of the season, it happened in Tampa Stadium for the first time.
seconds, 1 second of this game to play. And Tampa Bay, a steady crowd of better than 65,000 comes onto the field.
The Big Sombrero was also known for the heat. Mix tons of concrete, aluminum benches, zero cover, and Florida's infamous heat and humidity, and you get some pretty miserable conditions. 2 Super Bowls, though, were played there along the way, 18 and 25. When Malcolm Glazer bought the team, he wasn't satisfied with Tampa Stadium, so up went Raymond James Stadium, where they started playing in 1998. The Ray J, named after Raymond James Financial, is one of the most unique stadiums in the NFL. Not only do fans dress up like pirates, but the stadium centerpiece is a massive pirate ship, complete with cannons. The Bucs haven't made a Super Bowl there yet, but it's hosted 2 and is scheduled to host a 3rd in the coming years. Our final button on the old Sombrero, it was torn down in 1998, a year after the Bucs took off, but it still plays a role in Tampa's home games, being it serves as Raymond James' parking lot. Doesn't look like much of a hat anymore, though.
After 13 years of silent Sundays, Baltimore celebrated the return of the NFL and the birth of the Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore Ravens, you likely know their story. Owner Art Modell taking off from Cleveland after the 1995 season. His new franchise playing its home games at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore in 1996.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Memorial Stadium, a historic afternoon here in Baltimore as the old Earl is back in town.
Memorial Stadium had already housed the Colts in previous years, the Ravens playing there for just 2 seasons. Modell wanted something more modern and got his wish in 1998 when the team began play at Ravens Stadium.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Camden Yards.
First known as Ravens Stadium at Camden Yards, it's since gone by PSI Net, back to Ravens Stadium, and now M&T Bank Stadium. Unofficially, you'll also hear it called the Big Crab Cake, or sometimes the Vault by fans. Outside, you should check out the former facade of Memorial Stadium, which still pays tribute to those who have served our country. There's also The Walk, a first-of-its-kind tailgate area set up for fans who don't have parking for games. From there, you walk down to the stadium, and on the way in, it's tradition to stop by Unitas Plaza to rub the feet of the Johnny Unitas statue for good luck, and also choose to rub Ray Lewis's cleats for good measure. We're now to one of the 2 teams to only have played in one spot so far in their existence, the Jaguars joining the NFL in 1995 and playing all their home games at TIAA Bank Field.
Go Jaguars! First fan cam on history to play here in Jacksonville, Municipal Stadium. We've 16 years waiting for this day. We're ready for him to play, ready to kick the crap out of Houston Oilers out there.
The Jaguars lost their opener to the Oilers at what was then called Jacksonville Municipal Stadium. It was the first time an expansion team in the NFL played its very first game at a new facility. The name of the stadium has gone by Alltel, Everbank, and then more recently to TIAA. The Jags mascot, Jackson DeVille, traditionally bungee jumps his way onto the field prior to starting games. And then there's the swimming pools.
91 degrees feels like, or in the high 90s. Do they have a press pool, you know? Is that an option? I didn't bring my suit. Oh, well.
That's right, it's the only NFL stadium that comes fully equipped with its own pools. They were added as part of renovations that were completed prior to the 2014 season. And lastly, you have to know what Duval means. It's not only that a celebrity or former player kicks off every game by yelling it, it's what Jags fans yell all day long at their home field. Duval is the name of the county Jacksonville is located in, just in case you didn't know. Same year the Jags hit the scene, the Panthers did as well, but their new stadium wasn't ready right out of the gate, so they had to spend a year at Clemson Stadium.
The Carolina Panthers inaugural home game here in Clemson, South Carolina. Commissioner Paul Tagliabue handled the coin toss.
The Panthers had to borrow the Tigers' den because a construction deadline for their permanent home wasn't met. But their renting days were over one season later. Ericsson Stadium, as it was first known, was ready for business.
Beautiful stadium. They will rock it here. Rock it door right here.
It's beautiful. It's state of the art. It's the envy of the NFL. It was originally called Carolina Stadium, but by the time the team started play there, it had been bought out by LF Ericsson and now goes by Bank of America Stadium, or BOA. The exterior of the stadium is characterized by 3 sets of huge arches which frame the main entrances, which include these huge white domes and massive panther statues. The team says the statues, named Indomitable Spirit, are the largest bronze sculptures ever commissioned in the U.S. Inside, games usually are preceded by someone with a slug tiger or bear pounding on a huge drum, which leads to fans chanting, "Keep pounding," the team's motto. Our final stop takes us back to Texas. The Texans, the last team to join the NFL, and the only other team besides Jacksonville to call one spot home, NRG Stadium.
They have waited for this moment since 1996 for their team to take the field.
NRG was originally called Alliance Stadium. It was the very first NFL stadium with a retractable roof, which takes about 7 minutes to open or close. They have a section in the stands called the bullpen, which is made up of the most die-hard Texans fans. They try and get everyone going with back-and-forth chants of Houston, Texans, as well as shouting out the players' last names when they're introduced. They love their music in NRG2. The list of songs that play throughout games is too long to cover, but God Bless Texas and Deep in the Heart of Texas are staples on their playlist. NRG has 2 Super Bowls under its belt, both Patriots wins. They beat Carolina there in Super Bowl 38.
Looks good.
They came back against the Falcons for that OT win in Super Bowl 51. There you have it. In total, 186 stadiums have been home to an NFL team in its first 100 years in existence, and now, 1 year into its 101st season, they're already at 188. And do us a favor, make this the ultimate stadiums fan forum. Share your favorite stadium experiences and memories in the comments section, because after all, they wouldn't exist without you. How many stadiums, everyone?
everyone gets to do. You might as well go.
I'm thinking of changing plays. What? Because you're so slow. Kicking head. I saw an opportunity. But she does. Savannah is the relationships in high school football that make you want to get up and come to work and go to practice the next day. Yes, boys.
You might need to talk to Savannah. She came up to me freaking out about Friday. She said I had tickets to the concert and didn't know what to do.
I'm going to let Savannah come to me.
Come to you.
No, don't say anything. See what she does. Savannah is the kicker. It has to be hard to be a goal on the football team. Do you think I treat all the kids the same? I don't. There's some things I don't make you do because you're just sitting right there with a bunch of bullies.
I was playing soccer.
I saw her out kicking, and I saw an opportunity. Are you nervous? Man, don't lie. It's okay. Be nervous. Nice kick, Savannah. You see the girl kicker on some high school football teams that are kicking PATs or whatever, but she's kicking onside kicks. Nice kick.
I was surprised at first whenever she decided to play football, and I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, she's pretty cool at it. I ain't gonna lie. After we score, we always onside kick.
Oh, drop kick. You're going to screw this one up, aren't you, man? For some reason, they don't rule onside kicks as turnovers. It's the same exact thing. Yeah, I'll be giving up a little yardage, but if I get that extra turnover, what could that do for me? Nice hustle. Good job, both guys. We're 117-3 when we recover an onside kick again. We're 52-0 if we get to it. You were part of the statistic that helped us win more than anybody else. We're good? Okay.
The other kickers are Von Seelick and Clay James. That's a competition. We're competing.
That's precision when you want a different ball. She comes out and practices her kicks every day.
I don't treat it like it's something fun. I treat it as if it's something that no one gets to do. You might as well go hopeless.
I'm thinking of changing plays. What? Because you're so slow, get back on the other side of the freaking field and play two. Jaden Kelly played running back last year, but he's switching to receiver this year.
Last year, I had 2,000 over yards, 17 touchdowns.
Receiver, he's 6'2". He's one of those off-the-bus guys.
The goal for me is to be a Division I football player. Colleges say they would like to see me play receiver.
Come on, Jay. You act like every step's your last. We ain't going to have lack of effort.
Coach Kelly is very hard on Jaden.
He ain't going to stand down here and use it as rest time. Jaden, he comes off of people as lackadaisical, doesn't really care, just because he's nonchalant. Jaden Kelly takes another freaking walking step on my field. Sometimes when he makes a mistake, you want to see that a kid cares. You know, we run the first play of the game to Jaden, and you know what he does to go to the other side? He does this. We can't run a play. And then when he gets 5 yards from the spot, he goes like this.
He thinks that I'm not caring or trying. I don't show much emotion.
Worry about your feet second. Catch the ball first. That's going to be a real challenge this year. Guy went from 2,000 yards last year to no freaking yards this year.
My close friends, I'm more the life of the party. My dad comes to some of the practice to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Hey, how you doing, Coach? Gotta ask you a question.
All right.
Oh, like weekends, is it okay for my son to come up here and train?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He's got to work on adjusting to the deep ball.
Absolutely. What's he doing here?
Worried about you doing your deal.
You know, I won't put a lot of pressure on him. It all supposed to come together. Same.
These first 3 games are important for you.
Everybody's gonna be watching.
Yeah, really important for you.
It's game day, baby. Ooh, finally here.
The game of the week, Pulaski Academy of Springdale Harbor. It's been a long time the Bruins opened up the season without, having that big target on their chest as being the defending champ.
The more things change, the more they stay the same, right? I mean, they're the faves.
They're playing Springdale Harbor tonight. Their whole offensive line averages about 285. They've got 4 or 5 kids over 200 pounds on the whole team. Now, Bruin football 2019 starts. You have one choice and one choice only. That is to go 100 miles an hour, as hard as you can, as smart as you can, the way you've been coached. That's why we win. That's what's built our program into the national program that it is.
proud of you. Go lead us. First three. Let's go.
Out of the gate, here's Braden Bratcher.
This one was really slow.
Comes the blitz.
Runs out of bounds.
Nobody looked at it. Brady.
Bratcher's on the backfield.
Field makes a great catch.
40, to 30, to 20.
And he runs for a touchdown.
Wow.
Feeling of relief, honestly. Just that we finally got our first score.
Let's go. You ready? What you want to kick? Okay. Just relax.
We go out and do the first kick.
The onside kick is quickly recovered.
We don't not get it, which is like nerve-wracking.
You kicked it good. You just kicked it a little left.
However, they're making great plays.
There's the pass immediately out to Jay Burns. Harbor Wildcats. They answer that one real quickly.
Hey, check 50, copy.
So here comes the snap again to Bratcher.
Everything's clicking.
Whoa, that was complete. Jake Kelly. There's the snap. There's the pass on the right side. Cobb is in the end zone.
That was a good freaking play to get started.
Burns allowed him handoff his helmet. He has got running room again. Out of bounds at about the 2-yard line.
There's the snap. Handoff to Burns, and he's going to run it right up the middle for a touchdown for the Wildcats.
We're going to keep scoring because it doesn't look like we can stop anybody. We may have to score 10,000 points.
He's looking to his right.
Wow, what a pass.
We're going to kick our Copter this way. SEAL team, Bond's going to give us a shot at it. Go get it. Let's go. We just get one. It's over.
And it is good. He does kick it. It's bobbling. It looks good. It's off the fingertips.
Ron gets an onside kick.
See motion right face.
Scores of our games definitely go wild, almost like a Madden game.
We're scoring a point every 15 seconds right now.
It's in the first quarter.
Already, the Bruins leading 32-12. There's the snap. Almost going to slip it there. Pass is complete across the 10 to 5, and he's in there for a touchdown.
Harbor putting the lead down and coming back against us.
Are we trying anything different? Are we doing the same crap and are scoring every time?
Shotgun call up. He has 3 receivers to the left. He's to the first down. He's at the 40, to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown, Braden Bratcher.
Kind of touchdowns we like. Did y'all get any blocks or is it just a good play call? I got
It's looking like it's going to be a high school game.
If you're in a freaking zone, everything you do is magic.
Right before halftime, and I was running. Back of my head hit the turf.
You all right? What did you hurt? My head is just whiplash. Nolan, you're the quarterback.
That handoff goes immediately to guess who? Jay Burns.
You're killing us on that.
Handoff goes to Burns. He's in the end zone.
We have got to stop somebody.
I want to look at that a little bit more inside at halftime.
Ace. Slide 57. Slide the lateral tailback. Todd's going to go take him in there. Look at him for a concussion.
They bring me to the trainer's room.
My biggest concern is his vision.
Is he good there?
Yeah, he
A little worried that I wouldn't be able to finish the game.
No, he's freaking hard. Hell, yeah.
They asked all the questions, and I was all good.
I'm talking to you, defense. There's no excuse for 40 points in the first half, is there? 40 freaking points in the first half.
63-40 at half, and Coach Kelly is frustrated with the defense.
Gonna man the freak up.
There's a lot of things going through my head. Adrenaline, the atmosphere around us. Colleges looking at me. I have to continue to put points up on the board.
Pulaski Academy has 3 different kickers vying for the starting job.
You want him to pick you, but you never know.
But it looks like Coach is going with Savannah Goodson.
She's thinking about it too much.
To go out there and be a little nerve-wracking.
There's a kick from Savannah Receive at the Bruins 49.
Quit kicking it left! You're kicking to the same guy every time, but just kick it a little bit further right. Don't do the same thing over and over and expect a different result, okay? Come on now.
Hit off immediately to Burns. He's gone. I would not have given you an over-under of 100.
Do your job. Your job's to get it down. You better do it.
I'm back on the field in the second half.
Looking to pass. Oh, did he catch that? No way. No.
Do your freaking job.
And Bratcher throws long to...
Oh, and it's intercepted.
We're in dogfight.
Wildcats are not letting us get away.
I mean, we gotta call something, change guys, because freaking 60 points later, it's getting too late. We're outsized, and it's starting to show. We're going to have to show some guts on this drive. They're going to stack 6 in the box. We got to throw a football.
Our passing game needs to get back on track. Need to prove that I can play college ball.
Looking to the left side, there's the pass. Jaden Kelly, touchdown, Bruins.
Way to keep working, son.
Braden makes it look easy.
Probably setting a record for total yards. Just have fun, be smart, sharp, focus.
So, you have to keep going. You have to score every drive. Things were opening up.
It's complete to Joe Hyman.
I had Joe Hyman on a screen pass, and he got all the way for a touchdown.
With that pass, Braden Bratcher has accounted for 900 total yards, breaking a national record. Don't you tell me he's too small to play big-time ball. This kid is a winner.
And in the game, we have 84 points on the board.
Points away from setting an Arkansas high school football record. One week that
In my first game as a receiver, it helped me out with my confidence to cause trips. This young man set a national record of 900 total yards. Besides, you got to prove every single thing that you can play the game. I think I'm always just trouble.
What's up, Overtime? It's Kevin Kelly, a.k.a. the Peach Never Lose. I want to talk to you about what you learned when you get from Dip. I coach my team to have toughness, guts, and resilience. These traits all come from within these players, not from a can of dip.
I can escape all pressure for at least a few hours. Today, I never go back. It's just you. It's stressful, but it comes with the job. A lot of people's goals are to win conference championships or to make it to the playoffs. Ours is to win the state championship every single year. And coming up short last year, we got to win it this year. My brother wins 4 games in my career, 4 state championships. Can't stop my brother to win 4 state championships and be able to win 2. He's really contributed to neither one of those that much. There's something to prove though.
Chicago, man, on, Miles. Block the right guy, you can't get some
helpless, just sitting on the sideline, not being able to help out the team.
We're going to fix the way you act.
Watching the team not do well, not be able to do anything about it. Hurts.
I'm going to let you go in, but if you're doing it again this week, you're out the hat. Rodgers running the right side. There's the pass.
Nice to be able to get in the game and get a first catch. A goal of mine to play college football. Scouts seeing me play, I'm feeling really confident. Underdog isn't a word that we're used to being described as.
Definitely the best defensive line I played against.
All this D1 players.
There's the snap. Flip on the left side. In the end zone. Touchdown. Through it.
We finally score.
2-point Joe.
Feeling like, okay, we can get things going. We can come back with a surge of our own.
We're on the ropes right now. If we can somehow put a little pressure on them, it's a game changer. This is why you practice in the sun.
When I put the ball in its specific place, everything has to be perfect.
Right. Here's Savannah Goodwin.
I kick it.
Savannah, of course, kicked it, and it looks like Cooper White recovers the onside kick. That is
It's so good. It's like everything we did paid off. I grew up watching high school football. Getting to make an impact in a game with that many great players is huge.
I think those guys know about the onside kick now.
Maybe they've heard of it. Joe Hyman is in the backfield.
Joe, the running back, gets tackled up on my ankle, but it hurts me pretty bad. And I'm in a lot of pain, but I don't want to slow up the offense. It's a big game for us. I definitely want to be out there to help us win.
Hey, if the stopping goes not there, you got the what?
The part of me, see the will to fight on and not just give up with a little pain.
Get inside the number!
We dropped out after recovering the onside kick. Me and Jaden on this one played a little miscommunication between the two.
There's Bradshaw Fluke from left side. He's going to gun it right into the end zone, and it's intercepted. You pull it down, safety's going to come across.
It's like you're so close and then you just blew it.
Stop and right, then what should you do? Stop and run away and look immediately before you get to anybody. Again, classic Jaden. It is halftime. What's up, Overtime? It's Kevin Kelly. Early morning ermination, not from a kid.
We're all thinking he's going to be mad.
So you don't think I'm going to come here and run and scream and just flip out? We're doing every dumb thing we can do, and we're still really good. Seriously, think about that.
He's like, y'all are doing bad, but we're in this game for some reason.
Just come together and fight for each other and fight as hard as you can. And it'll be a great comeback. I promise you it'll be a fun comeback. It'll be something to remember. Everybody got it? Let's go. Get on good tonight, man. Right up the middle.
Running the ball. Short passes just down the field.
Pass is complete to Andrew Cobb.
Burton, finally.
There's the snap. He's going to keep it himself running to the left side. And he's in there for a Bruin touchdown. They run hard at the start of the drive.
The defense was having a very difficult time trying to stop number 2.
Caleb didn't turn around. Can't put him in. Big touchdown for it.
We have this kid, Andrew Mason, who's going to Rice, and we have nobody like him.
Everybody in the world knows he's battling. I don't want to listen to the bull crap.
Get the ball back.
Out there, he's gone. Touchdown. Bruin.
Down the score. It's 40-32.
Do y'all really know that there's here and death right now?
We wanted to pick you, but you never know.
Fine. Or are you going to kick it well?
Okay, so let Savannah kick this one.
Yes, sir. Look at him. Tell him I'm going to do it. All right, here we go. Let's go.
Hopefully that it gets the kick.
I didn't kick it to 14.
We go roll onside kick. We're like fiddling again.
I just kicked 14. You're good. You're really good.
And we recover 2 onside kicks, and it's like done.
He is going to kick it to you, though. Onside kick. And Bruins have it.
14 bobbles it, and then Clay James comes out and recovers it. I think this is a great opportunity to get on score.
Roll out, 50 stick. Let's go. Keep working.
I don't really think about college scouts. I just want our team to win.
It's complete. Touchdown, Bruins.
Down 20-6, now you're tied 40-40. You're feeling good.
Defense, go out there and don't make a freaking play. Sir.
Number 2, he's scoring all their touchdowns.
I ain't worried about 2 on 4th and 6. Well, maybe it should be 4th and 6 now.
Andrew Mason, this speed is unbelievable.
Found the receiver over the middle. He escapes the grasp and finds the end zone.
He scores again, making the score 47-40.
You backed off. We are saying give
Read the linebacker for the X or the Z.
Here's the snap. He has three receivers down the right side. I'm getting pressure from backside and I'm running away.
And fumble the ball.
Richie Garland, he's a powerhouse on the defensive line. Ran him down for a patient and running into the end zone.
To see all of our men just go away like that, it hurt.
Could have scored, time to get back up.
You don't get to decide. The linebacker's inside. The Z standing there. Throw the short, quick fade. But if you don't run my offense, that's what's going to happen. Respect and shake their hands. They whipped our butts and made us like it.
How did it feel? 8 touchdowns.
He ends up the game with 8 total touchdowns. He set a Tennessee record.
We'll make a living doing this.
Coaches talk about moral victories. I don't believe in any of that. We lost the football game.
Does losing suck? Yeah. Remember how it feels. Do not be satisfied because y'all could have beat them.
Well, it's just like a short. After the game, my leg was hurting pretty bad. Nothing this injury isn't anything serious. We were all bought in. I blame myself for that.
It hurts to lose a game and that I got hurt and got benched. Pretty tough sequence of events going on.
Jump in the van. We started our film right then.
Number 2 was the single most of the time.
Get that done so when we come in Saturday, we're starting on the next team. If you go back to the last game of last year, we're 1-2 in our last 3 games. I am worried about them a little bit moving forward. Monday after the regular game, I'm in Todd's office. I really need to sit there and clip out of bounds.
Once you strain a hamstring, they don't really like to heal very quickly.
Definitely some doubt creeping in that I wouldn't be able to play. It's the last thing I wanted to do is sit out one of my senior season games.
Down. Down. Your responsibility to get down this building by 3:25. To get your butt out here by 3:25.
A lot of people are late out to practice.
Half of them didn't walk in the door till 3:24.
Awful loss. The last thing you want to do is do anything to make Coach Kelly mad.
Down.
I kind of got this whole thing started.
Down. Be like if you got a date with a girl and she says, be at my house, pick me up at 7 o'clock, and you got to go pick something up first. You gotta gas your car. You gotta wait till 6:59 to go gas your car, take a chance of being late for 7. If you do, you're an idiot.
He always uses some analogies like that to just like get it through to the guys.
Down.
I honestly think it's kind of funny and it gets through to me.
Down. Everybody understand? Yes, sir.
It's a weird week in a lot of ways. We find out we got a rash of injury.
Braden's hurt, Jaden's hurt.
Todd tells me that it's an ankle sprain. There's definitely a hope that I can play.
Rehab that we usually do, tape that we should be able to play.
But then at the back of my mind, I'm still thinking, like, if I do play, I'm definitely not going to be 100%. I want to do what's best for myself and the team.
We've got another tough game, very storied program in Shreveport Evangel.
I'm going to try to figure out why your way would be better than mine, right? Nope, it's not. There's no way it's free.
We're going to need a lot of other people to step up this week.
No.
I'm going to start getting whoever's going to back Ray Bratcher up ready.
Nolan, you can't throw it through a human, Nolan. You're going to throw it a little bit up and over.
No one, he knows a lot of football.
They're doing that, and they have more people to run. In 6th grade, my coach basically asked who knows the plays and who can throw it. I was in those 2 categories.
There you go, a little quicker.
I'm very different than Brady. Pocket passer. I can't run.
Nolan is very hard on himself.
I want to know why he didn't run my way the first time.
So I thought I ran really well. You did. Throughout the week, I'm so nervous. The starting job, it hits me hard.
Right now, you're not giving anybody any confidence in the quarterback.
Filling the shoes of Ray Bratcher. It seems to be a lot of pressure on him. Joe, that wasn't horrible overall. It wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. So I make the decision that I'm going to play both kids. Nolan's a year ahead of Charlie, but Charlie's coming along quick.
I mainly stay inside the pocket, but I get to skate and chase something out of it. Coach Kelly says that me and Fives would rotate throughout the game. Kind of bittersweet.
You've got to throw it sooner.
Me being the NCAA quarterback for a week comes with a lot of pressure. We spent the quarter, I would just stand back there and learn. Pre-snap to that. Pre-snap to that. Charlie, my right team. So much faster, and there's a lot more pressure on me. I'm telling you, it's a football game that you're going to get off and play. Have fun. Where are them 3 starters for 2 games in? Now, all 3 of them together. Okay? Everybody's got to step it up. At least my quarterback's not done for the year. He comes to practice. I'm like, are you going to play? That kid's tough as nails. There was a shot of him coming back. If you have any chance of playing, that's probably how you ever play with Patrick Travis. We're going to play the guys. Coach Kelly for the last thing we're going to do is go play and then get a hurt worry. I hate for you to miss the game because you have a chance to set a national record that will never be touched. Coach Kelly just asked us to meet at 8:30 with cleats on the field, so that's what we're heading to right now. 3 weeks ago, Creighton set the national record for total yards in a game. Now it's all falling on them, which is going to take grit. It's my way of understanding. You already decided to change some things on your own. Falling below 500, that should not happen in a long time. Stressed out about how long Creighton's going to be out. I do feel a lot of pressure. Treat Port Evangel, a storied national powerhouse program. I didn't think they were ready. All right, here we go. A lot of emotions are going through me right now. I feel pressured. There's a lot of pressure, expectations that you're going to perform underneath the Friday Night Live. Get your feet together. Just put yourself in the moment like you're in the action. Back. Everything centers around our quarterback. The way we built it around you. It is that, though. Like, really focused. I'm scared to death, but I can't show it. Boys, you know what it takes to be a great quarterback? Working harder, well. Next man up is in full spotlight. That takes
About to be halftime in a second. I don't think we have enough time to play Carter. Maybe after that.